guys, it's Bella from Bella's Custom Crochets, and today I'm going to be doing a little different than my normal format. I'm going to be doing a review, I guess, of 2019 and kind of looking ahead to 2020. So today is actually, at least when I'm recording, not when you're seeing this. When I am recording, it is the last day of 2019, New Year's Eve, and I have been working on a blog post kind of reflecting over the past year, and I just wanted to share some of that with you. So there's not going to be any showing of finished items or projects or really anything other than me just talking to you. So if that sounds cool to you, welcome. Thanks for being here. And yeah, 2019 has been a really, really good year for me. All in all, probably my favorite year ever. In the end of 2018, my daughter was born, and I've kind of really just, I don't know, enjoyed that mama role. For the first time I really feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, like moving in my purpose. I believe everybody has a purpose. It's just taken me close to 30 years to figure out mine, I think. So just really stepping into that maker mama boss lady role has been incredible for me. It's just been a really, really good year, business and otherwise. Just feel like where my little family is, everything is just perfect. And if that wasn't the case for your 2019, I realize that's not the case for everybody, and everybody has up years and down years. And if this was not the greatest year for you, my prayer is that 2020 will be one that you look back on with joy. It'll be awesome for you. So I'm just going to kind of go over this little blog post breakdown that I have written up here. I got some tea, and I'm probably going to do a lot of random arm flapping because I have nothing to hold on to. Maybe I should hold this and then I'll flap my arms less, or I'll flap that and it'll sound crazy. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to try and stay on track. I don't know how long this is going to take. I'm going to try and make it not too long, but I'm already rambling, so you know how that goes. Sip of my chai tea. I will tell you, first off, this is the only thing I'm going to share, any non-Bella related things. This awesome hoodie is made by my friend Sarah of Block 21 Prints, and she hand carves stamps out of linoleum basically, and she stamps each shirt, and she had polled everybody for why they create and why it makes them happy, and it's got all these reasons, and I love it, and it's got thumb holes, and she makes incredible stuff. That's her stickers up there. You can't really see them. But yeah, she's like my favorite maker, so you should go give her some love. Other than that, we're now going to talk about me, and only me. I do want to share this information. I'm not going to be sharing specifics like finances or anything like that, but just some numbers as far as follower count and all of that. And I'm not sharing any of it to brag or to be woe is me. I am sharing it because I want this to be kind of like a journal, where I can look back next year and say, okay, we made progress. Sometimes you forget to look back to where you came from to really enjoy where you're going, I guess. That's kind of cliche, but yeah, I want to be able to look back and see the progress, see steps in an upward direction, I guess. So that is why I'm sharing this information. If these numbers look like yours or don't look like yours, I'm not trying to compare or create any, I don't know, there's enough comparison out there, and we're all at different points in our maker journey, and this is where I'm at in mine. So I'm sharing it, and we'll just see where the next year takes me. So first and foremost, in my 2019 in review, I quit my job. January 2nd of 2019, I quit my full-time job. After having my baby, was planning on going back to work part-time after maternity leave. I had been full-time waitressing for a couple years. It was a super convenient location, really close to us. It came into my life at a time when we had just left the military, moved back home. Neither one of us had a job, so it was perfect scenario then. Made really good money doing it for what it was, and I was good at it. So it was not something I was passionate about, not even really something I enjoyed, if we're being honest. But it was good money, and it was like a comfortable place. So leaving that was scary. But both my husband and I agreed that we were going to give this, well, I was going to give this maker mama boss lady thing a go. And I'm so grateful that even previously, my income wasn't something we were living off of. There was a time when we were living off my income, but the last couple years we had been off my husband's income, and we were just using my waitressing income as our house is. We purchased it as like a fixer-upper, and we were going to slowly flip like one room at a time. Not flip, but renovate. So my income was like the building fund renovation. So my income is still that. It is just a slower trickle into the building fund because, full disclosure, my crochet income has not replaced my full-time working waitressing income. Not today. Maybe sometime, but not today. Everybody starts somewhere, and I really hope that I can turn this crocheting thing into a substantial full-time income. But realistically, this year I was not working full-time. My daughter is priority number one, and being at home with an infant and figuring out this whole momming thing, I was working like during her naps, but napping schedules change and working at night. And as we go, you're going to see that I did accomplish what I feel like is a lot, at least for me in the situation that I'm in. I feel like I did pretty okay. But again, it's not about comparison. But ultimately, the goal is to have the crochet, all of the facets of it, all these things we're going to talk about, to end up being a substantial, maybe not millionaire income, but livable full-time income would be fantastic. So yeah, quit my job. That was number one. No regrets there. Really have enjoyed it. Love being a stay-at-home mom. Love, love, love. I know that's not for everybody. I absolutely love it. And yeah, being able to stay at home with my baby and my little business baby and raise up my little daughter and my business side by side. I don't know. It's been great. So now we're just going to keep going down a breakdown of stuff. In 2019, I more than doubled my Instagram following. Again, that is super not important. Instagram following does not necessarily equate to anything. You can't really monetize an Instagram following. It doesn't necessarily convert to sales. And most of the people aren't seeing your post anyway because of the stinking Instagram algorithm. But yeah, I started off the year, I think I hit 2K in like February. And I'm close to 6K now. Which again, totally doesn't matter, but it's neat that it's growing. And I've really enjoyed that community and people that I've been able to meet, I guess, online. And just the support of the maker community is really beautiful, especially on Instagram. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube, Ravelry, all of that, but I feel like Instagram is where the little like family meetup is, and I love it. So that's cool. Also in 2019, I started doing collaborations. That was the first time I had done any like yarn support. I did with a couple indie dyers and also with a larger yarn company. Not a ton of collabs, but a few. I learned a lot from them, and I really enjoy in particular working with indie dyers. I mean, hey, Lion Brand, you want to sponsor me? I'm a fan. But indie dyers in particular, I just love that maker helping maker relationship. So to be able to not only, I mean, yeah, you get free yarn, but the agreement, I guess, is that you're promoting each other, and just being able to use my platform, however big it is at the time, to promote somebody else's artistry is really neat, and I look forward to doing that some more. In addition to that, I think I have these in a reasonable order. They might not be, but this is the order we're going in. I started working with a tech editor in May. Game changer. I personally work with Christine from Ambassador Crochet, but I highly recommend finding yourself a tech editor if you're going to publish patterns. Because no matter how good you are at math or writing or whatever, or how good your testers are, because I test fully every pattern, usually multiple testers per size, or per item or whatever. But testers they're not professionals. None of us are. They are unpaid, which is incredible. I love that part of the community, and I try and test patterns as often as I can as well, just to kind of give back. I'll talk about that more later, but testers are not professionals. They are working on their own stuff, their own life, their whatever. They're not doing it as a job. A tech editor is. So you pay a tech editor, and it is worth the money if you want your patterns to, I don't want to say be good, but have that professional quality to them. It's really helped me elevate my my whole design process, because now I'm thinking about that end result with the tech editor, but just really paying attention to like fine details and stuff that I really didn't think about, and like standard wording. And I've admitted many times I am not good at math, so usually the testers tweak out a lot of the math and sizing and whatnot, and I did a pretty good job this year, honestly. I did 2 garment patterns and I graded them and things fit. I'm proud of that. But a tech editor is just really, really important, so highly recommend that you get you one of those. So I will continue working with Christine in the future, and hopefully that makes a big difference in my design process. Along the lines of patterns, I published 8 of them this year. This is where the comparison comes in for me, because I feel like right now everyone is posting, I published 54 patterns, I published 36 patterns, I did 17 kits with Lion Brand and published 87 million patterns in the book. I published 8 patterns. I feel like that's pretty good. Again, working with a newborn, stay-at-home mom, I feel like 8 is good. I think my goal for the year had been 6, because I was like, if I can do, 1 every 2 months or so, I'd be happy. So 8, awesome. 7 of those were under my own brand, I guess, and then 1 was with a yarn company, so they own the rights to that one. But overall, I think I shortened my list here so it would all fit on one page. I had a breakdown of what I published, but I did do 2 garments, which was a huge deal for me. I have been afraid of grading because of the math, but I conquered 2 garments. I did a vest and a cardigan, and yeah, it's doable. It took me a long time and a lot of work, but I want to design garments, so I'm going to continue to work on that. But as far as like my Instagram top 9 and whatever I posted earlier this week, y'all like shawls. Y'all are into the shawls. So I'm definitely going to continue to focus on that. Shawls are my favorite thing to make and design for myself, so might as well do patterns. So we'll keep those coming. I got lots of good neck-weary items in mind for the new year. In relation to the shawls and the patterns, I cleared 100 sales on my Dandelion Dance shawl pattern, which I think released in May. So that was my first pattern to sell over 100, and 100 sales, not $100, 100 sales. And that was huge for me. That was a goal. I don't know why. It just seemed like a really hard to obtain thing. Attain. And I did it. So that was awesome. I also have done some patterns wholesale through a yarn truck, which has been a cool experience. So she's like taking them to events and stuff with her. And I've done some stuff with some dyers as well, as far as providing samples of my patterns for them to bring to shows. So I've got people bringing stuff to like Vogue Knitting Live, at Rhinebeck, or like pre-Rhinebeck events, not Rhinebeck, like I forget what it's called, the one Christy Glass did. My stuff was there. Needles up. So it's just really cool to see my stuff getting out into the yarny community. In addition to the designing, which was already a lot, I did 10 shows this year. That was my new record. I probably almost double. It's been a couple years since I really focused on doing shows. I'd started up again last year, but I was like super pregnant by the fall time. So I think last year I did 4, maybe 5, but I did 10 this year. So I did 4 farmers markets that were local to me, 3 events with the Nutmeg Collective, which is a Connecticut artisan group that I'm part of, 2 pop-ups on my own, and then 1 was a Facebook Live but I'm counting it as a show because it took me days to like get all that inventory like numbered and prepared, and it was like an hour and 40 minutes of me talking by myself selling things on Facebook. So we're calling that an event. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do as many shows next year, just because I'm jumping ahead. But the toll of making that many items, it is a lot, and I would like to focus more on the passive income things like the designing, where you make one pattern and then it keeps selling, whereas if you make one hat and it sells, you then have to remake that hat. So the making of the physical finished items is a lot of work. I absolutely love it, and I love doing shows and seeing my like community and interacting with customers in person, but it is a lot to keep up with. And I got most of it done this year while my daughter was napping early on, like early in the year when she took like 75 naps a day. But she doesn't nap that much anymore. We're down to two, usually one or two naps, and fast approaching just one. So I don't know about my productivity next year, we'll see. But yeah, 10 shows. I also started a mailing list, or a newsletter, I guess, the BCC Buzz. You can join it if you go to my website. I think it'll pop up for you if you haven't already subscribed, or you can scroll down to subscribe to my newsletter, and I'll link all that website goodness down below in the Dropbox down bar section, comment, whatever. It's down there somewhere. So I launched a mailing list. Everyone, you know, all those podcasters and influencers and whatnot, everybody claims that mailing lists are the way to go. Like, that is what you need to do to build a business. Haven't seen a huge amount of results, but I think mine this year is up to, last time I checked, I think it's like 250 something-ish people, which is pretty good, I think. I only send it out usually like weekly-ish, not more than weekly. I've just been sending out for if I'm doing, like, I have a list of people who are local to me that I'll send out if I'm doing an event, and then I have a list of like maker people who I'm sending out blog posts, pattern releases, sales, that kind of thing. But I'm super not spammy about it because, frankly, I hate emails in my inbox. That whole like promotional section, rarely do I open anything. I am subscribed to a lot of newsletters, barely ever open them. And, you know, all those, my email box is just like full all the time with like, you made an Etsy sale, you made an Etsy sale, here's your PayPal transfer, like all that stuff I never open. I really should change the notifications so they stop emailing me. It's nice to know. I see it and I'm like, ooh, I made a sale, but then I don't actually open or delete that email, so it's just in there. So yeah, I think there's like over 1,000 unopened emails in my inbox, and that's just from a few months. So yeah. And my personal emails, I never check those unless I'm looking for like a coupon. So I am really intentional about not being obnoxious and spammy with my mailing list. So we'll see if that grows in the new year. Currently I'm using MailChimp, which I don't love. It's fine as far as like you guys receiving it. It makes a really nice layout, user friendly on that end, but as far as me designing it and putting it together, I just feel like it's not laid out very well, and I have to look up tutorials constantly and be like, JoJo, come help me. That being said, I'm not tech savvy or good at computer stuff at all, so not surprised there. But I've heard that from some other people too, that MailChimp is kind of bleh. So I might change over at some point. We'll see. Right now I'm still in the free tier. I'm not paying for it. I don't have that many people yet. So see how it grows, and I might try something else in the future, but still building that mailing list is huge. In addition to that, I launched my new website and blog. So bellascustomcrochets.com and then /blog. My husband built the whole thing. He is a software designer, programmer, web developer type person by day. So he has done all of that, which is really cool that his skills align so well with my needs, I guess. And I'm really blessed to have him because I could not afford him otherwise. Let's be honest. He is a pricey professional, and I don't pay him right His dream is that I make enough money that he can quit his job and just work for me. We're not there yet. That would be my dream too. That'd be really, really cool. I think it's really sweet that he wants that for me. But anyway, I think we launched I'd had a website before that he had built, but it was more of just like a landing page type website. It didn't do anything. So I think we launched the new one in August. And from there, I've been able to blog, which has been really fun. I've always loved writing. And it's been really neat to be able to use that love of writing and my love of creating and kind of mesh those two together. I've been able to stick to, other than a few holidays here and there where I, fell off, stick to weekly posting, which was my commitment. I wanted to be able to post once a week, which again, I think with a baby and everything else I've got going on, that's pretty good. And I'm going to keep it up. I really, really, really enjoy the blog. So that is going to be a huge focus in 2020. I'll talk about that more shortly. In addition to the website and the blog, I also launched this YouTube channel here. Hi, Mom. I've been doing all sorts of things, kind of trying to see what sticks and jives, I guess, with you guys. Do people say that? No one says that. But I've been doing a monthly podcast, monthly-ish. So I want to keep that up with the podcasting, and I've also been putting up videos about like my setup and process for markets and craft fairs. That has done really well, so that I will try to keep doing. I can only do so many videos on that because I'm only doing markets, a set time of year, but I will definitely keep you informed on my process there. And then I am going to, actually last weekend I started filming tutorials. So I'm going to be doing tutorials for a lot of my patterns, not the whole pattern in entirety, but like stitch tutorials or tricks for that pattern and that sort of thing. So you'll still need to either be a free pattern on my blog or purchase pattern. There will be a link with some additional video information. I don't think they're going to be private videos where you just have them if you view or if you just buy my pattern. Like the stitch tutorials I'm going to put up because anybody can use those for whatever pattern they want, but they will be I can't think of the word, but in support of my patterns, kind of. So I'm excited about those, and then just some other makery tutorial things, like I'm doing stitch marker, how to make your own, that sort of stuff. So I'm very excited to continue building the YouTube platform. Strangely enough, for a quiet introvert, I rather enjoy talking to you/myself. I know I'm rambly, I know I say, I know I do weird things with my arms, and I touch my hair a lot, and yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, and we've gotten some new equipment, and I'm going to turn down the lighting now because it's getting a little harsh. Some lighting, some mics, nothing fancy, but fancier than, balancing my phone against a pile of books like I was doing before. Again, that's all my husband. He does all the video editing and tells me what I should buy for equipment. I am grateful for him. All right, now we're back into the making. This year, I'm doing a little, currently right now, a little guess how many skeins of yarn I did. I do every year on Instagram how many skeins that I used. Last year, I believe I did 214 skeins of just new yarn. Not necessarily that I purchased that year, but yarn that still had the, ball band on. So I save all of these and I count them up every month, and then at the end of the year I do a guess how many total there were. So last year there were 214. This year I used, wait for it, 330 skeins of yarn. And that's not including anything that I had in my stash that was like a partial ball of yarn, like these little like scrappy guys. I use lots of stuff like that in all sorts of projects, but this is just 330 new, freshly opened skeins of yarn. And that does include my personal projects as well as my business projects, because that's way too hard to separate out. But I think knitting is included in that as well. But still, that's a lot of yarn. If I really wanted to, I could sit down and calculate the yardage because I have all of the ball bands, but I don't want to add up 330 anythings. But yeah, that's like wrap it around the world a couple times to cut type yardage. Maybe not that much, but a lot. It would be really fun to do that one year though. Maybe that'll be a 2020 goal to actually keep track of the yardage. That's a lot of math. But yeah, a lot of yarn, guys. And if you go to my Instagram, there's a picture of all of them on the floor, the ball bands, at Bella's_custom_crochets. Again, it's all linked down below. There's a picture of all of them, my daughter like sitting in them, just like having a good old time making baby snow angels and like yarn wrappers. But it's a lot. There's a pretty good mix of, it's definitely heavy on the Lion brand type yarn, box store, because I use that for my line of products, which we're going to talk about next. There's a lot of those. I think I used 104, I think it was, skeins of Color Made Easy, this stuff, because I use that for my Puff and Pom beanies, my Infinity and Beyond scarves, my Mama Bear Baby Bear hats, my head wraps, my hand warmers. The majority of my line is Color Made Easy, which I really loved working with. It's a great, high quality, nice, floofy, loose twisted, wears well. It's acrylic, but I'm pleased with it. So it works out well with my price point and sales and everything. I do love working with luxury or animal fiber yarn, but to sell those items, it's definitely gonna have to raise the price, and the target audience that I'm looking at is not shopping for those items at the moment. So I do make lots of stuff. Most of my designs are out of either hand-dyed or something fancy-pantsy, because I am a huge advocate for crocheters can use fancy yarn too. It's not just for knitters. So go out and get yourself some hand-dyed. But yeah, if you look at the photo of all the ball bands, it's a good mix of all of that. So then out of my 330 skeins of yarn, plus random odds and ends, I made, with my two hands and my magical crochet stick, this is not including, this is including stuff for my business and custom orders, inventory, custom orders, stuff for me, stuff for my daughter, stuff for anybody, anything that I crocheted with my two hands. I made 337 items. That's just shy of being an item a day. It's like 0.9 something items a day. Crochet every day, y'all. Yeah, I had never calculated that number before, and I'm not even sure if that's exact. There's probably some that I missed in there. It might be closer to like 350 or something. But I went through like all of my inventory and then all of my custom orders, and then I like scrolled through Instagram from like any random thing that I made myself, and I went through my daughter's closet, and 337 is the number I came up with. It's probably not exact, but dang, that is a lot of things. I'm glad that I am selling some of these things, because I probably would be crocheting at that rate even if I wasn't selling them, so thank God for this business. Otherwise, I would have 337 new things in my house. That's how the business started. My husband was like, you know, you really should sell some of this, because you only need so many things. Yeah, that number shocked me. I'm just kind of shocked by that. That is a lot of things to make with my hands. And all of that, again, is with a newborn. I made most of it at the beginning of the year, but I have pretty much, I would say probably 90% of that has been made while either holding, feeding, bouncing, rocking a baby. For the first like 6 months of my daughter's life, she pretty much didn't sleep unless we were sitting on, by we I mean me, because I'm the only one that can get her to sleep, on a blue like yoga ball, exercise ball, and bouncing her. So I would put her in the wrap, the baby Catan, swear by that thing, saved my life. Baby Catan wrap, and I would just like bounce her, and I would crochet, and I'd bounce and I'd crochet, and it was a workout and a half. So I did that for a solid like 6 months, and it was a sad day when she didn't need that bouncy ball anymore, but also my back appreciated it. But she still very much is a fan of being snuggled, so a lot of the crocheting gets done that way, and I love that. It's definitely harder to use your arms now that I have a like She's got to be going on like 25 pounds. I think she was like 22 pounds last time we checked. Almost 14 months old. So I have her like, cradled in my arms, and I'm crocheting with counterweights. So I'm going to have some beastly forearms, and it's probably not the greatest for my wrists, but making 337 things actually isn't great for your wrists either. So that's why in the new year, I would like to really focus on, like I said, the passive income, the blogging, the pattern writing, the affiliate links. I'm going to talk all about that in the next year goal section, but yeah, I need to not try and mass produce like I'm actually a machine, because I am not a machine. I am a lady boss. And I'm very proud of the fact that I was able to make that many things, but physically that is a lot. Like I said, you make a hat, it sells, you gotta make another one. I think puff and palm beanies alone, which are my big seller, I made 70 for inventory and then plus custom orders, so probably 80 to 90-ish puff and palm beanies alone this year. First of all, it's a lot of repetition. I love my patterns, I love my designs. I only sell stuff that is my own design, and I'm proud of that, but making 70 of the same hat does things to you. So yes, next year it's probably not going to be a higher number. It's probably going to be a lower number. I want the pattern design number to go up and the finished object number to go down. So that, I think, wraps up 2019. That was my year, guys. It took me half an hour to tell you all of that, so hopefully the goals doesn't take another half an hour. Try and make it fast. Like I said, really good year. Really, really happy with where I am. Loving it. Loving it. So now we're going to do goals for 2020. My goals are kind of broad. I'm not one of those. I know a lot of makers like sit down and plan out their calendar for the entire year, and I love planning. I love organizing, but I also have learned I need to give myself grace, because I am a high anxiety type personality, and if I sit down all by myself and no one else is involved, and it's not like deadlines with like a company or a dyer or anything, I will sit down and I will write out my whole year on this planner, and then if I don't meet those deadlines, I will be losing sleep over it. I will be having panic attacks and freaking out and not being very nice to my husband, and it will all be deadlines that I created and no one else is really even knows about them or cares, and I will be losing it. So I have learned to be more gracious with my goals, to set broad, attainable goals. And then if I surpass them, it's like, yay, I did a good job. And even if I don't meet them again, this is my business, and my husband's fully supportive of this whole venture of mine, and I'm happy doing what I'm doing. So really, any of it is a win. I'm not going to put pressure on myself, especially, I know I keep saying with a baby, but she is my focus, and her schedule is ever changing with naps and what she needs and just development, and I really don't want to be stressing this stuff and miss out on her littleness. So we're going to focus on that, and then anything else that happens business-wise is going to just be a big thumbs up, pat on the back, good job, proud of it. So these are the goals that I would roughly like to accomplish. This year I would like to publish at least 10 patterns. Like I said, I'm going to focus a lot more on the pattern design than I am the finished items. Because first of all, I love it, and second of all, it's better for your wrists. It's a little more tedious, because I can't really pattern design and hold a baby because she's all over the place, but stuff that I'll work on while she's sleeping or at night or that sort of thing. Because yeah, it would be really awesome to be a full-time pattern designer and have that be a substantial income. I know that there are designers out there that do it, you know them. That's really what I want, because then I get to create constantly, and I don't have to create the same thing over and over again, and I get to use all the pretty yarns. So that is my goal. Like I said, I did 2 garment patterns last year. I really want to conquer more this year. I have a fear of pullovers. I'm not sure why, because I've made plenty of other designers' patterns, and I will say there is a lot you can learn as someone who's hoping to design patterns or even is already designing patterns, you need to be making other people's patterns. You need to be buying other people's patterns, first of all, to support them, because it's important that you continue to support this community like people are supporting you. But you can also learn a ton. And I'm not saying that at all to copy them. I absolutely am not going out and copying other designers, and you should absolutely not either. Just to kind of get inside their head and look at their process and like how they lay out things, how they word things, just to be familiar with like even industry standard. It's important to be involved in the industry. If you're the only making your own patterns, you're going to be missing out on a lot of stuff. Just even like trends and stuff, it's really important to be following other pattern designers and be supporting them and making their stuff. So I have made lots of sweaters, I have knit some, I have crocheted plenty. It's also really great to do baby sweaters or children's sweaters because they get done fast and you still learn a lot about the process of sizing and fit and all of that. So I make a lot for my daughter just because it requires less yarn and time. But I have made plenty of pullovers for myself. I really want to design some. I would like to do a raglan, which is either top down where you're increasing, it has like those lines, like right here basically, the lines that are going to increase there. Yoke sweaters that are those ones that you see laid flat in a circle. I would like to do one of those. I would like to, this is not necessarily all this year, but just as far as pullovers go, there's like bottom up, there's ones where you're going to seam together pieces. I don't love seaming, but there's advantages to that as well sometimes. So I just really want to conquer pullovers. Right now I'm focusing on adult size stuff. At some point I might do kid size, baby size, but I do want to be size inclusive. My goal is to, my patterns in the past have been extra small through 2XL. I would like to add 3XL this year. The tricky bit with doing the larger sizes is finding testers for them. So if you are a tester in that larger size range, hit me up. I'm always interested in that. But I would like to put out patterns that are going to cover lots of bodies. Yeah, pullovers, man. They scare me. Because I think the reason is there's a lot more forgiveness. Obviously I do my homework on sizing and everything, but cardigans, like, there's a lot of forgiveness in how a cardigan fits you in the front. Like, unless it's something with buttons that needs to be fitted, which practically is a pullover anyway then, because it's closed up. But my other designs, my vest and my cardigan, have been open in the front. So there's a lot of wiggle room there, I guess, as far as bust size, bellies, and all of that. Pullovers, it's gotta fit. It's got to fit around your head. It's got to fit around your arms. It's got to fit around your bust. It's got to be long enough, or whatever length it is that you're going for. So yeah, those scare me. But I'm going to do it. Hold me to it, guys. At least one pullover design this year. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of shawls, because I like them. You apparently like them. That's what we're doing. Currently have 3 cowls in the works, like just for like January and February, and a wrap design that I'm thinking about for the spring. So plenty of neckwear coming. And truth be told, I don't love hats. I don't really wear hats myself, which is funny because my mother is laughing because there was a time in like middle school where I only wore hats. That makes me sound like I was running around naked wearing hats. I wore hats every day of some kind. Now I don't wear hats ever. So I don't design a lot of hats. But we'll see. Lots of things. I would like to do more collaborations, like I said. I'm really interested specifically in working with indie dyers. Really love Connecticut makers. I've been privileged to work with a couple local dyers in Connecticut. So if you are a Connecticut-based yarn dyer, find me. But just dyers in general. I love that. But, you know, if Lion Brand wants to be like, here, have some yarn, I'm cool with that too. All the yarn has a place. As far as the items that I am going to be making for my finished inventory, I really want to work on my branding and my line. Like my catchphrase is modern and vibrant crochet. But I have maybe had too much vibrance. As you can see, there is a large selection of colors behind me, and that's just some of them. I used pretty much just this yarn for my line. My pointing is directionally weird. Just that yarn for a lot of my line. Some of my triangle scarves and cowls were different yarn, but other than that, everything was pretty much that Color Made Easy line, but I used pretty much the whole line of yarn, and I think there was like 22 or something colors in there. So that ended up being too many options for people. I really like how it looks with like the rainbowiness of it, but from a retail perspective, that's just not best business practice, because people get really overwhelmed by options and they don't want to have to pick from 3 different colors of yellow or 5 different grays. So I'm going to really, in the next month or so, figure out what my color scheme is going to be, at least for this year, and stick to those colors as best I can. Custom orders, I am still happy to work out other colors, and like I said, for designs, I'm going to do whatever the heck I want. Everything is always going to be lots of mustard yellow, because that's my thing, and then I just love like saturated, as you can see, jewel tones. So you're not going to see pastels, you're not going to see sparkly, not really into that furry yarn or the velvet yarn. Yeah, so I'm working on figuring out what my line is going to be. Last year I think I had like 4 hat designs, 3 neckwear designs, and then like a couple accessories like fingerless gloves and stuff. I'm really going to hone in and focus my brand. There will be videos on that, I promise. As far as shows, like I said, I'm going to do less. I would like to do probably 5 to 8. 5 seems reasonable. Who knows what the next year will bring. But that's my thought, my goal there. Big goal is to monetize the blog. I don't think it's any secret that people make money blogging. I currently make no money blogging. I am blogging for the love of blogging. You have to kind of reach a certain like threshold of views and stuff in order to apply to monetize a blog, and then there's different tiers of companies that do ads and whatever. Right now I make no monies, so I'd like to make some monies. I do not expect my blog to become my full-time income this year, but over time you gotta start somewhere, and we're starting that hopefully pretty soon. We're getting close to those numbers, which is really exciting. But yeah, so I'm going to be monetizing with ads. I'm not going to be obnoxious with them, I promise. My computer programming, software developing husband is going to keep the ads in check so that your user experience is pleasant. But also affiliate links and that kind of stuff for the blog. And then also the YouTube, monetize that. Same story, you got to hit a certain amount of subscribers and whatnot. I think it's like 1,000 subscribers and then a certain amount of like view hours or something, hours of people watching what you're putting out there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a lot of focus into the YouTube, like I said, with the tutorials and the podcasting, and I'm going to do vlogs if I'm at events, fiber related events, not my own shows, but like fiber festival type events. Just going to do a lot of YouTubing. My husband's really excited about it and loves the editing, and like, I asked him last week if we could go to like a fiber fest that was in Boston. He was like, we can, but I'm going to vlog you extensively. So he's full on behind that. Yeah. So YouTube, and then Instagram, kind of a superficial goal, but I would like to hit 10K. I don't know if I'm going to get there. I'm 4,000 or so off from that right now. I think I can do that. I don't know. We'll see. But there's some perks that kind of become available when you hit 10K on Instagram, and the numbers don't mean anything other than you get like to put links in your stories and swipe up, and just some more perks as far as a business account goes. So I would like that. Follower numbers doesn't really matter, but it's cool that there's a lot of you out there, and I like it. And then lastly, last goal is to launch an online store. I've sold on Etsy in the past. It was not a good use of my time. It's not time well spent for me. Just because I know there's lots of people that make money on Etsy selling finished items. I'm not saying you can't. Obviously, you absolutely can. But as far as focusing on designing and stuff, it was taking away from my time and not was just not really lucrative. But I'm going to continue selling on Etsy and Ravelry as a pattern platform because that's where the people are looking for patterns. So you want to be where the people are. I want to be where the people are. But I am going to be selling, first and foremost, patterns off my own website. My husband is working on that to get a pattern section put up into our site where I'll be able to sell the PDFs directly through me, which would cut out the Etsy and Ravelry fees. But again, most of the pattern sales is probably going to continue through there. But we would also, hopefully, maybe, possibly, by next fall, winter season, have a spot on the website where we can do custom orders, sell finished products, ready to ship stuff that's not coming to markets with me. Like I have a bunch of inventory this year that doesn't necessarily fit into that, like I was talking about the branding, but still totally awesome products. So those will probably end up online because it doesn't have to be as cohesive laid out on a table. So just some more color options and stuff. So yeah, that is going to be quite a bit of work because he's not doing like a add a Shopify thing. He is building an online store because that's the man he is. And yeah, that's the last goal. So if I can accomplish any or all of that, I will feel pretty happy about 2020. Like I said, I am really happy where I am, really happy where life is going, how it's looking, super blessed, super grateful. And I am grateful that you guys are coming along with me. Anybody that's taken the time to watch 46 minutes of me talking about my personal achievements is a nice person. So I wish this video was a little shorter, but it was a lot of stuff to cover and I appreciate you. So hold me to it. I hope that I can look back in the end of 2020 at some of this and say, yep, good year, did the stuff, made the stuff, sold the stuff, bought all the yarn, used it all. I love what I do. I love designing, I love crocheting, I love creativity, I love you people, and yeah. So thank you again for being here and following and liking, subscribing, yada yada. I've talked enough. We will return to the regularly scheduled podcast shortly. Thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, I guess past tense New Year celebration and a marvelous 2020. See ya!